Hi everybody, Don Giannatti, lighting-essentials.com, project52prosystem.com, and you can catch me over at my website, dongiannetti.com. Got a lot of websites. I posted something on my email newsletter that I send out weekly. You can see info on that below. About being passionate about your work helps keep you focused and embracing the process. These are two different concepts that I just really harp on with my students. Is you have to love it enough to prioritize it, and that's where the passion comes in. And passion's an overused word. Not really sure there's too many words that fit the bill like it. It's a little bit overused, and I don't mean it in that sort of generic way. I mean, you really have to be willing to prioritize the hell out of your work, making your work the most important thing that you do, because it is the most important thing that you do. Nothing is as important as that, because the work is your goal. Your goal isn't to be in business. Your goal isn't to make a lot of money. Your goal isn't to do this other thing, whatever that is. Your goal is to do the work. And if you put your head down and you do the work, all the other stuff comes along. The money will be there if you're doing the work. And I say embrace that passion for the process. So in photography, what is the process? Well, the process is that you make photographs, you create a portfolio, you show that portfolio to people who would hire you to do photographs for them. That's the process. You're making photographs, you're showing them to people who would hire you. Make more photographs, show them to people that would hire you. The goal is to get hired, but that's not in your hands, so to speak. All you can do is make the photographs and show them to people. So that's what you have to embrace. That's what you have to get passionate about. I'm making photographs. How many photographs are you going to make today? 5? 1? 1 a week? 10 a week? I've talked to a food photographer who built her entire portfolio in 31 days and went out and got work from it because she was focused on the process. The process was make 2 food shots a day, every day for 30 days. 2 that she would be proud of. Sometimes it took a few hours, sometimes it took all day. And yeah, she didn't have another job to go to. That's little crosses we all have to bear. We got little problems that we got to deal with. She didn't have that. So she devoted herself to that. She wasn't thinking, oh, when I get a shot of pasta, I'll be able to get this much more money when they hire me. No, all she did was focus on the day at the hand and to make the shots. She did a little bit of planning, what kind of stuff she was going to do. All of that is part of the process. Then make the shots. And then the process that she embraced was to show it to people. She'd get up in the morning, she'd call people, she'd send out her mailers, her contacts per day, try to get in front of people, get people to visit her website. And that was what she focused on, the process. If you focus on the process, you don't look so disappointedly at the results because the results are slow going. The process can be quick. We can go, oh, wow, I showed my book to 20 people this week. That's great. But you may not have gotten a job. If that bothers you, you're not focused on the process. You're focused on the outcome. The outcome's not in your hands. All you can do is focus on the process, which means next week you show it to 20 more people. And the week after that, 20 more people. Eventually, someone hires you. And that process continues in the background while you're working. Because the working is the joy. That's what you've been after. That's great. But you still love the process. The process keeps churning in the background. Because if you don't do that, you end up with these peaks and valleys. You market, get a job. I don't have to market anymore. And all of a sudden you don't have any job, and then you got to market, and that's no way to live. It's no way to work. No way to run a business. So does the passion come from the work, or does how do I say it? Does the passion make you work hard, or does working hard make you passionate? And I don't know. I don't really care. Whatever works for you works. So if you're very excited about the process and you're very excited about getting things done, I think the process will be hand in hand, that you're passionate about doing it, and doing it makes you even more passionate about doing it some more. Where we get into trouble is when we look down the road towards those expected outcomes and they're not in our hands. I'm in a position where probably a little bit different than a lot of people who talk about photography online. I have owned an ad agency, been a creative director for an ad agency. No, it wasn't a little one. We were the third largest ad agency in Phoenix, Arizona in 1999, 2000, and 2001. It's a big agency. I was creative director. I had 5 art directors working underneath me. So I've sat on that side of the table. Do y'all understand? I've been on the other side of the table for 8 years, looking at photographers sitting, trying to show me their work. And I will tell you something. Sometimes I loved the photographer's work, absolutely adored it, but we didn't have a job for them at that moment in time. At that particular day, we were pitching someone else, or we were finishing up a campaign for this client, moving on to this client who was mostly a writing client, and on, right? But the photographer who showed me that book, they go, oh, well, he didn't hire me, so I won't go back. They didn't embrace the process. They embraced the outcome. The outcome was I didn't have a job for them, and then they just disappeared. In 8 years, I had photographers come and show me their book, and probably only maybe a dozen, less than a dozen, ever came back more than once. Just let that sink in. They show the book, they don't get hired, they go away. If you think that is a recipe for success, you're in the wrong business. The people who did come back to me had a higher rate of success than the other people because they stayed top of mind. They stayed fresh. Every once in a while, there's a serendipitous moment. We just closed a job for this great medical website. We're going to need all these new things, and the art directors are buzzing and everything. And you come in and you show us some really cool doctor shots. Do you realize that's the right place, right time, right moment? And we're like, dude, wow, yeah, this is like, oh my God, we're in tune to it. But that's just like everything else in life. You never see the car you drive or the car you want to buy until you buy it, and then everybody else has got the same car. They were always there, you just weren't tuned to it. So those things happen. But in most cases, we don't have a job for you when you walk in. And if you don't manage that expectation of just being there to show me your work, that's your job. But if it's like hinged on, oh, I got to get a job from it, you'll fail every time. You just have to embrace the process. You have to be passionate about just doing it, not the end product. The end product will come from a consistent and constant love of the process. Where your passion comes from, for me, is probably a little bit of both. The passion that I have to do what I do makes me work hard, and the harder I work, the more excited I am about doing what it is that I do. I try to manage my expectations as well. I think it's probably the biggest factor in photographers failing is that they don't manage they don't manage what they want to have happen. They don't manage their expectations. They focus on the completion or the end product. And man, in this business, that's tough because it's so far out of your hands if you're not doing the process. So I hope I haven't confused anybody. I hope that you all take this in the spirit in which it's given, which is I want everybody to succeed. I want you to succeed. I want you to succeed big time. One of the greatest things I get are letters from folks saying, "Hey, Don, thanks for that advice. I put it to use and such happened." With the photographers that I work with one-on-one, watching them excel, watching them win awards or get jobs they never thought they could get, that's what does it for me. So I'm not beating anybody up here. I'm really trying to help people understand the way this world works, especially for us people who are creatives and what we do for a living as a creative endeavor. Hey, listen, if you like my channel, hit the subscription thing. I post from time to time, and a little bell will ring and just annoy the hell out of you until you come and see what Don said. For that, or with that, I'm going to say hasta la vista. See you next time. Take care.